So let's go ahead and start. And I'm going to show you how we'll set up the blocks to begin. It's a supported fish pose, and there's a number of different ways that it could be set. But I'm going to have us go low because we'll be doing some specific things with the arms. So one block will go across underneath the shoulder blades. And then the second block can go any height that you like for your head. And make sure if you can have space around you on the sides because we'll be moving the arms here and there. Alrighty. So you'll come down like this. You've got a little shelf for the shoulder blades and a little perch for your head. And it might feel good or necessary to wobble a little bit from side to side so that the shoulder blades tuck in a little bit more on the back. And we don't want them winging or poking into the blocks. I have my legs bent. You can have bent or straight, whatever feels the most comfortable. And yeah, Dan, let me know if you want me to turn that light off because sometimes it feels okay. All right. So as you do settle in here, just take a little check-in, see how you're doing on a physical level, an energetic level. Kind of a crazy time today. This whole year, really. Notice how you're breathing, how it feels to take a breath. When you're ready to add in some movement, we'll start with the arms down close to your hips, and then you'll keep the arms close to the floor as you sweep out to the side and possibly up towards your head. And then you'll go back out to the side and down again, like snow angels. So take a couple of those. Now, if you're finding that you're getting stuck, maybe the shoulders aren't so mobile today and you only go about halfway, that's fine. Not necessary to go all the way up. And you might also notice that one side naturally moves more than the other side. And that's fine too if you have, one side going all the way and one side just going partial. Let's go with that. And then let's finish up here one last one. And once the arms come down, then we'll take them up in front of the chest. So keep your arms parallel, palms of the hands facing each other. And just reach a little extra so the shoulder blades, they kind of widen a little bit on the back. And then you'll plug the arm bones down so the shoulders go towards the block or towards the floor. And do that a few times, a little up and down. Not a huge movement, but getting some good stuff in there. Yeah, let's stay in the down position and you'll bend the elbows and hold your hands on the elbows so it makes kind of a box shape. And let's take the whole arm unit just a little bit from side to side a couple of times. Now it might require a little bit of engagement through your core so that you don't fall over. And then let's pause here just right in the center. And can you take the front ribs and keep them down as the arms start to go back in the direction of your head? But don't let the arms go further back than your ears, if that's even possible. Yeah, so keep the forearms reaching back, the front ribs drawing down, and if it feels okay to stretch out the legs long, do that and press the heels forward. So you're kind of moving yourself in two directions. Let's keep the legs doing whatever they're doing. Bring the arms right in front of the chest and switch the crisscross. So you've got the other one on top, which might feel a little funny. And then we'll take it again, our side to side, just across the chest. And you'll feel the shoulder blades moving here. And we'll pause right in the middle. Once again, we'll start to take the arms back in the direction of your head as the front ribs pull down in the direction of your feet. Yeah. Keep the feet reaching forward, those of you with straight legs. All right. And then we'll release the arms, just let them relax, let the legs relax. Last thing here on the blocks, and I call this the sea monster asana. So you're just gonna start moving the arms around any direction, any which way. And a couple things to look for. Of course, the shoulder blades moving in the back. And you might get a little stretch kind of in front of the chest, armpit area, depending on where the arms go. Sea monsters here. And then we'll let the movement start to settle down, let the arms relax. And then just think about it for a second to get off the blocks. Some of you might want to roll to the side. Some of you might want to just sit up and then push them out of the way. So whatever disturbs you the least. And we'll return to lay down on your back, off the block. Take your time though. If you're still enjoying being up there and want to stay for a moment, that's fine. And once you do arrive, just notice how your body meets the floor. In particular, notice the shoulder blades, the way they come into the floor, but also how they come into your back ribs. Let's take the arms out to the sides, but slightly lower than shoulder height. Palms are facing up. And let's press the legs, the heels forward. So you've got straight legs, pretty active leg position. Take a breath in. And as you exhale, let the arms hover just a little bit off the floor, not too high. And then on the inhale, we'll set them back down. So do that a few more times. The effort here will be on the exhales. And imagine here there's some kind of a support system in the upper back that's aiding in this arm lift. So that we've got some work through the front core, but also a little bit of work going on in the back. And then we'll pause next time the legs, I meant the arms, sorry, are in this up position. Yeah. Now this is a shape I'm going to have us repeat in various different poses later on in our class. Go ahead and let the arms relax, let the legs relax. Arms can come down a little bit. And let your head take a little side to side. All right, so we'll do one more little sequence here on your back. Let's pause and take the hands onto the hips so the elbows are out to the sides. And then we'll keep the left leg long on the floor, but bend the right knee so the right foot stands on the floor. The knee is pointing up to the ceiling. And then just very slowly here, let the right knee turn out. It'll resemble tree pose, but we don't want to lose contact of the left hip on the floor. And then you'll come back to center. Do that a few times. It's a rotation of the leg. It's also some stability work for the core so that you don't just flop over. Friends, so let's take it one more time with the knee to the right. And before we let go of the arms, notice what your front ribs are doing. Can you keep them down as the arms come up just right in front of the chest? Yeah. Now slowly start to bring the arms back towards your head without the ribs popping up. Most of us will end up just hovering a little. Some of us will touch the floor. And if you do touch the floor, don't go all the way down. Just stay a little bit off the floor with the arms. Yeah. Now maybe this is enough. Maybe you want to add in a little extra work. If that's the case, you'll inhale. And on the exhale, hover the left leg a little bit off the floor. And on the inhale, you'll put it back down. So 2 more times of that on the exhales, if you choose to accept it. Yes, friend. And then once you're done, let's take a little break, release the arms, stretch both legs out, and just take a second. That could be movement, that could be stillness. When you're ready for the second side, let's set that one up. So the left foot stands on the floor, knee to the ceiling. The right heel reaches forward, the right leg is active, hands are just on the hips. At first, we'll just work with the leg. So whenever you're ready, let the knee go out to the side, but don't let the whole pelvis come with the leg. And back up to center. Do that a couple of times. Yes, friends, let's pause next time the leg is in the open position. Before you lift the arms, keep the ribs down. Take the arms just right in front of the chest. And then slowly we'll draw the arms back without the ribs popping up. And how far back you go is really dependent on the ribs. If you do go all the way to the floor, though, hover just a little bit. And then if you're adding in the leg, on the inhale, you stay. And then on the exhale, you'll hover the right leg just barely off the floor. And we'll take that a few more times. Yeah. It's funny, the position I think doesn't look like much, but there's a lot going on. When you're ready to be done with that, we'll come back to center, release the arms, legs, both legs bent or straight, whatever you decide. And just take another little check-in. Notice your body, your breath. When you're ready to turn over, we shall. If you need to wiggle around a little bit before coming off your back, feel free to do that. We'll meet in the all fours position. A little bit of an abrupt transition, so take your time. And then once you have settled here, you're all fours, we'll do a little bit of work again with the shoulder blades. So leave the pelvis and the lower spine just kind of alone, leave them neutral. As you sink the chest towards the floor, the shoulder blades will move a little closer together. And then you'll press into the floor and let the shoulder blades move more apart. Exactly. So it's protraction and retraction. Now see if you can do it without bunching up the neck. Just keep the neck, space around the neck. And then we'll keep doing this, but we'll add in a few more things and it'll start to turn more into our cat-cow. So let's pause the next time you're in the down position. Can you move the chest a little forward, shoulder blades down the back? And then as you press into the floor and round, let the pelvis tuck under so now you're more in cat pose. So do that again. Let the chest sink down, shoulder blades move closer together, and then the chest moves forward as the shoulder blades move down the back. You'll press into the floor, shoulder blades widen as we round, and do that a few times. So it's a little bit like cat-cow, but not exactly. Almost kind of a swimming motion in those shoulder blades, yeah? Yeah. Nice. And then let's take a little break here. Just go back for a brief child's pose. Keep the arms forward and go onto your fingertips, spider fingers, just to give the wrist a little break. And if it feels good or necessary to wobble a little bit from side to side, always fine. I always do wobbles. Now in a second, we'll head back to our all fours, and it'll be a little strange. So once you're back there, bring the hands a little closer to each other than you normally would do. Can you broaden the collarbones? Can you lift the belly, firm up the core? And then you'll lift the right arm, but keep the elbow bent and set it back down. And then you'll do the left side and we'll alternate sides. And imagine that you could lift the arm from your back. Now the upper back lifts the arm. We want to keep the neck out of it, so just keep your neck neutral. And if you're finding that the neck is lifting the arm, you might change something. Maybe move the arms a little forward or a little back or a little wider, a little narrow. Try something so that the neck can stay out of it. Next, we're going to do both arms levitate. Just kidding. When you're done with this one, just reset. Let's take another child's pose. If you like the spider fingers and want to do that again, you could. If you'd rather fold the hands and rest the forehead, you could do that. Just whatever gives you a little bit of a rest. Okay. And then let's take one more thing down here. We'll actually transition down onto the belly. So take your time to arrive. And we'll keep the hands as you would for a cobra position. So the elbows are bent, the hands are on the floor. And can you lift the front of the shoulders away from the floor so your collarbones broaden and the upper back engages? With this position, don't move your hands, but try to pull the hands towards your feet as you draw the rib cage forward. You might end up lifting a little, but go forward before you come up. And then relax. Do that a few times. So hands pull back, chest pulls forward as you maybe lift a little bit. And then relax. We'll do one more with an add-on. So hands pull back, chest pulls forward, up we come. And then from here, if you wish, you could lift the legs, not high, just a little bit. And then also, if you wish, you could lift the hands. Now, sometimes when we lift the hands, we have to take them a little forward, and that's okay if you do. All right, to get out of this, take the arms a little forward, just fold the hands, rest your head down on the hands, rest the legs, and give the hips a little wobble from side to side. Yeah. Alrighty, friends, to get out of this one, let's head into downward dog and just use down dog as kind of a leg stretching opportunity. We've done a lot of upper back so far, but not so much in the legs. If you need to pedal, you can, or shift. I don't normally practice this early in the day. My legs a little tight. It might be interesting to go a little wider in your stance. Try that out. Might be interesting to lift and lower the heels. So you decide, just another moment here in your down dog. And then let's everybody widen the feet, bend your knees, and walk your hands back. So hands come to the back of the mat, and you'll end up propping the forearms up on the thighs. So you're in this sort of squat-like position. I'm going to turn to face you. Give the hands a little bit of movement, some finger wiggles, wrist circles, whatever you want there. Yeah. Now remember that arm position we did laying on the back? We're going to do something similar here. So I'll mirror you. Let's pick up the right arm and let the elbow stay bent. Arm, rib cage, chest turns, and then we come back down to the other side. So the elbow stays bent. Kind of think of using your back to create the twist. Yeah, do that a few times. Maybe your head is moving with the arm, maybe it's not. Not so important to me for this one. Yeah, nice work, you guys. Let's finish up so that you feel like you're even. And then you'll root down through the legs. As we come up, let's crisscross the arms, come up through the midline with the arms. Yeah, and then press the arms out and down like you're holding something down, pressing something down with the arms. Create a little resistance in there. Awesome. Nice job. Once you're down, just relax. Let's do this. So you keep your stance kind of wide, bend the knees, and just slither asana. You're just gonna move. It's okay if the feet don't have to stay glued on the floor. They can move a little bit too. And think of movement especially around kind of this thoracic region, the shoulder blades, the rib cage. Yeah, arms can do whatever they want to do. All right. And then let's pause here. Just pause in the center. Feet can stay wide or you could come in again, whatever's the most comfortable. I'm going to have us take this arm position. Actually, if you're familiar with ballet, it's a ballet shape. So the elbows are a little bent, the arms are in front of you, but the hands are slightly lower than the shoulders. Can you stay engaged through your core and think of the back as aiding in opening up the arms? Keep your gaze forward and keep your fingers in your peripheral vision, so don't go open like that. Yeah? Let's do that a few times. We can do it with breath. So on the inhale, we'll open, and then on the exhale, we close. So do that a couple more times. Keep your brain in your back, and let it be the back of you that's initiating the movement. Our eyes are in the front, so we're always thinking about what's in front of us, but here we're trying to think of what's behind. Awesome. Let's do one more time. All right. And then we'll release. Give the arms a little wiggle. If you like to have blocks, I recommend it for lunges. We'll set up the blocks at the front of the mat. I'm going to do the one where we do the pullback. So even if you normally don't, it can be nice to have a bit of an extra height. So let's go ahead and set your blocks at the front. I'll face you for a second, but then I'm going to turn around. So we'll be at the front of the mat. Let's crisscross the arms in through the center and then create the resistance out and down as the arms release. Yeah, let's do that one more time as is. And then for this third one, we'll add in a forward fold. So you'll come up through the center, and then as the arms come out and down, you'll forward fold. Hands will come onto the shins or to your blocks. Take a halfway lift. And as we come down, let's find your hands on something. I'm going to take the blocks. Bring the right leg back. So we're in this lunge position. Now don't move your hands. Try to pull the arms back as you pull the chest forward. Feel that engagement here around the shoulder blades. And then let that relax. And do that 2 more times. So the hands pull back, the chest pulls forward. Relax. One more time, and let's stay in this lengthened spine position, but back off a little bit with the arms. The legs are going to have to work a little bit more. Slight bend in the elbows, and if you're up for it, on the inhale, take the arms out in that same position we've been doing, and then on the exhale, bring them back down. Do that a few more times. Lift the arms from your back, and try to keep the neck and the head in neutral so there's no work going on in the neck. Yeah. Let's take the last one here. And then when you're done, arms come down. We'll put the back knee down. Back knee down. If you need padding, of course, you can take that. And just gently on your own, shift back and forth to bend and straighten the front leg. If you want to add breath here, I'll suggest inhale to go forward and exhale to go back. But if there's a better way for you to breathe, do it. All right, so we'll do one more thing in this position. Let's pause with the front knee bent. I'm going to ditch the blocks for this one. If you want to keep them, that's fine. Let's take the left arm in that bent position and then twist open, keeping the elbow bent. So the shoulder blade moves, the ribs move, and then bring it down again. Do that 2 more times. Let it be the back of your body that initiates the twist. Maybe the head follows the movement of the arm. It doesn't have to. Hey guys, when you're done with that, Let's release the hand, tuck the back toes under, lift the back knee. We're heading into plank pose. Now, if you need to do plank either on the knees or on the elbows, absolutely fine. I'm gonna do straight arms, straight legs. Can you, if you have straight arms, just a tiny bit, let the chest sink to the floor and then pull the chest forward, the shoulder blades down the back, and then we'll press into the floor so the shoulder blades widen a little bit. I'm just gonna do that in fast motion so you see what it looks like. Yeah, all right. Yes, good, good, good. Okay, friends, let's put the knees down. Lower yourself all the way down to the belly. Just take your time to get there. Let's make a little pillow. Rest your forehead on the hands. It feels good to wiggle the hips a little side to side if you can. And then let's do this one leg at a time, just a little scooch back and down. And we'll do our quad stretch here. You can bend the right knee and hold on to the foot. And I'm going to show if you can't reach the foot, you could use a strap, or you could roll to the side, bring the knee forward, hold the foot like that, and either stay on your side or then roll over back onto the belly. So that's a little trick. If the quads are tight, you can kind of coax them into it. Right, we're gonna release that leg and do the second side. Go ahead, just whenever you're ready. Sometimes these quads are like steel cables. Great. Let's release the leg. We'll stay on the belly for another little thing. I'm gonna scooch back so my elbows are on the mat. So we'll be with bent elbows and forearms on the floor and have the elbows just a wee bit forward of the shoulders for this one. And you can stack the hands one on top of each other. Let the chest sink a little bit. And like we did in some of the other shapes here, you'll pull the arms back as you draw the chest forward to come up. And then let it go. So do that a few times. Go forward before you come up. And if it feels any kind of pinchy or compression in the back, don't do the up part, just go forward instead. Yeah, let's take last one here. You guys will have the strongest backs in town. Lower yourself down, take a little anything you like. And when you're ready, we'll head back into our downward facing dog and get set up for the lunges on the second side. So here too in the down dog, if you want to add in anything, any kind of movement or pedal of the legs, go ahead and do what you want. Let's meet in our standing forward fold. Take your halfway lift. You'll bend the knees, and on the way up, let's come up through the center again. And then to bring the arms down, create that resistance. Okay. Nice work. Nice work. Once you're done, just relax a little bit. You could be still, you could wiggle, whatever you want. Okay. We'll set up our second side for the lunges, and my blocks went somewhere, so I'm going to reset. And then let's do the same pattern we did. So you come up through the center, resist on the way down. We'll do that 3 times, and on the third one is the forward fold. Let's come into it. Come up through the center, and then just resist the arms down. Make it a little harder than it really is. Engaging the latissimus muscles here. Great, and then this last one here, we'll add in the forward fold. Always fine if you need to bend the knees, go ahead and do that if you need it. And then we'll take our halfway lift. Lower yourself down, it's the left leg that comes back, and we're here in the lunge on side 2. Yeah? Take a second just to get there. And then once you do, try to pull the arms back as you pull the chest forward, and then release the effort. Let's go again. Arms pull back, chest pulls forward, the spine grows a little longer, and then back off. Last one here. Now you're going to keep the spine long, but back off on the arms. Press down a little more into the right heel. When you're ready, if you're adding on the inhale, you'll float the arms up, bent elbows. And then on the exhale, you'll take it down. So think about the back, lifting the arms. Keep your head and your neck neutral here. All right, down come the arms, down comes the back knee. Back and forth we go, possibly inhale forward, exhale back, possibly not. So just take any version of this, little reprieve from the previous shape. Dan, your alignment looks fabulous today.
Oh. Well, I got a massage yesterday.
I can tell, it looks great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm much more happier.
Awesome. All right, friends, so let's pause the next time we have our front knee bent, yeah? You could stand the blocks or ditch the blocks. Maybe I'll go on lower height here. And then when you're ready, you'll twist open, the right elbow stays bent, use the back to initiate the movement, and then bring it down. Take that a few more times. And then when we're done, release the arm. Let's tuck the back toes under, lift the back knee again. We'll skip plank this time and just go straight into downward facing dog. I say straight, you might take a little detour on the way. And then here too, you could be still, you could move. If down dog isn't your thing right now, you could do child's pose. Alrighty. When you're ready to get out, let's come into standing forward fold, either hands back or feet forward or a little bit of each. Bend the knees, let's come up through the center. And then one more time, create the arm resistance on the way down. Oh, yeah. All right, yogis. From here, just let the arms go, give them a little shake if you like. And then we'll do the next sequence. You'll stand in the middle of the mat and we'll just separate the feet here, and I'll mirror you for this bit. So stand in the middle of the mat and take the feet wide apart. You can start with the hands to the hips. Let's go this direction first. So the left leg turns in, the right leg turns out. And then you'll bend the right knee. Just come into warrior two leg position, but we'll do something special with the arms. Now let's do a few things. So we'll do this one again. So we crisscross, come up, straighten out the front leg, lift the arms, and then create the resistance as you rebend the knee and re-lengthen. Yeah, do that a few times. And if it feels right to follow the movement of the right hand, you can with your gaze. And then we'll finish up here. Next time you're in your warrior two position, let's pause. And you'll turn the palms of the hands forward, bend the elbows slightly, and come into that same shape that we've been working on. So there's work here going on in the core. Imagine some support system here in the back. You'll deepen the right hip crease and come over something kind of like side angle, but the arms are still in this position. Yes, exactly. All right. And then we're going to keep the bottom arm where it is. Take the top arm and bring it up over your head. Now, if this is too much, come back where you just were. And then let's root down through the legs. Bring yourself back to center. Release the arms. Take a little wiggle. Yeah. So let's parallel the feet. We'll talk for a second before the second side. All of this we want to happen from kind of the front support and the back support. So it's not just the arms holding the arms, it's the whole body holding the arms. Let's go the other direction. Right leg turns in, left leg turns out, and then the left knee bends just for a warrior two leg position. Let's add in this one. So you gather in, inhale to come up, straighten the front leg, exhale to press them down. That a few more times. Let the pressing down, that's the part with a little effort. Nice work, friends. Let's finish up the one you're on. Next time we'll meet with the arms wide and then change the position so the palms turn forward and come a little bit ahead. Elbows are slightly bent. Yeah, we're going to deepen the left hip crease. Come over into this, it's kind of side angle, but with this arm position. Yeah. Now, if you're up for the next bit, keep the front arm where it is. Take the top arm overhead. And if that's too much, just come back to where you were. So the front is supporting the arms. The back is supporting the arms. The legs are also supporting the arms. Root down through the legs. Let's come back up to the center. Relax. Parallel your feet. Bring yourself back together. We'll do one more, but just take a little break for a second. And let's take Hula Hoop Asana. Good. And then other direction. Allison, I've missed you in class doing those hula hoops. I'm glad to see you here. All right, before we do the next one here, let's pause. Take your feet just a little wider than you normally would stand. Bend the knees, bend at the hips, and put the forearms on the thighs. We're back in this squat-like position. Now, without going anywhere, try to draw the arms back as you draw the chest forward, and it creates that same pull effect that we were doing in some of the other shapes. Stay there. Create a little tone through the belly, and then if it feels good to add just a little wobble side to side, go ahead and do. All right, so let's release this. Just come back up to center. And I'm going to have us do triangle with this arm position, but I want to show you something first. So in triangle pose, this happens quite a bit. So here I am going into my pose, and in an effort to try to, I think it's to open here, a lot of times the pose ends up looking something like this. And that sort of position is very hard to maintain because there's not a lot of support going on through the torso. So we're going to do our triangle with arms like this, and it might just feel a little different than what you're used to, but let's try it and see. So we'll start in the middle of the mat. Take your stance wide like we just did. We'll go this direction. Left leg turns in, right leg turns out. Hands just to the hips for a second. Let's bend the front knee, the right knee, and let the pelvis tilt like we did in the previous position. Can you first find the containment here through the front? Take the arms forward and then open into this position we've been practicing. Now, nice. Once you have it, press down into the right heel to go straighter in the right leg. And here we are in our look mom, no hands triangle pose. So you're very much engaged through the front. You've got that support system going on in the back. And then let's keep the arms in this position as we come back up to center. Yeah, nice work. Change the legs. Bend the left knee. Let's find that hinge, deepen in the left hip crease. You got it. Find the support through the front, the support through the back, and then slowly go straighter in the left leg. Yeah. Nice job. So yes, indeed, it is work. I don't want to discount that. We started bent and then we went to straight. Yeah, mine doesn't straighten all the way. All right. And then little bend to come up. Bring yourself back to center. Release. Parallel the legs. Bring yourself back in. And just take a second. Questions? Nothing. Okay. So we're going to take next a wide forward fold. If you need blocks for under your hands for this sort of shape, go set them up in the front of the mat. We'll stay in this orientation. So once you're set, take your stance fairly wide and look down. Make sure the toes are pointing forward. Sometimes the legs have a tendency to want to rotate out, but let's keep them forward. Tiny bend in the knees. And then you'll hinge from the hip crease to come down, landing your hands right under the shoulders on your blocks or on your fingertips or flat hands. Keep the knees bent for a second. Now from here, create that pull effect. So the hands pull back as the chest pulls forward. It's okay if you lift the head a little as long as that feels okay. And then without changing that in the spine, at the tops of your thighs, press a little wider apart. Root down through the ball of the big toe, and then slowly start to go straighter in the legs. It's okay if they don't go completely straight. Some of you, they will, some of you, they won't. Yeah. Now, choices with the arms. You could keep them where they are. You could walk the arms forward, kind of like a down dog position. You could walk the arms back, going the other direction. So I'll leave that up to you. You could try a few things, or you could pick one and stick with it. And then let's everybody do this one. Just for a moment, walk the arms forward. And if you're on blocks, just bring them with, just to create some length through the sides of the torso here. Now, can you keep the length as you now start to bring the arms back? Some of you will go just a little bit. Some of you will go all the way hands in line with the feet. Don't go further than that, but anywhere in between is fine. Now you could be on flat hands or fingertips or blocks. If you're able to bend the elbows even just a teensy bit, do that. And point the tips of the elbows back. And without moving the hands, try to pull the hands back, broaden the collarbones, and you recreate that little pull effect here. Yeah, I find it's a little tricky in this position. Okay, let's reset. Hands just come in under the shoulders. And then you'll heel toe the feet in a little bit before we come up. And before we come up, little bend in the knees. Tone through the belly, press out through the thighs, hands to the hips, and come up with a flat back position, keeping the support through the front and the back. Yes. Gorgeous. All right, you guys, let's reset. Feet just come right underneath you. Take another little hula hoop here. And other direction we go. So do one last standing thing. This will be a balance pose, and if you know you need to be by a wall or something like that, you can. It'll be fairly simple movement, so let me just show. We'll have a leg up and an arm out. Open the leg, open the arm, and come back to center, yeah? Thinking of moving the arm from your back. All right, so exciting. So let's reset into your mountain pose. We'll have the right leg up first. So the left leg is the base, and up we come. Now, if you can't reach the leg like this, you could put the toe on the floor and just pivot. That could work too. All right. When you're ready, the left arm comes in front, little bend in the elbow. And then we'll open the arm, open the leg, but keep the fingers in your peripheral vision. Yeah, this could work too with the foot on a block. And you just do a little pivot there. So if you wanted to do that version, you could. Actually, I'm going to stick with this. Got a little drama going on outside. Just take it a few more times on this side. Let the arm movement happen from the back. All right, guys. And then down we come. Just take a second. Take a breath. And then we'll reset for side two. I'm going to stay on the block here. You do with the version that is working for you. And we'll take, what's this? The right arm out in front, little bend in the elbow. And then as the leg opens, the arm opens. Keep your gaze forward and keep your fingers in your peripheral. And then a couple of times more. So you want to keep the engagement through the front, but also through the back. Every time the arm opens, let that happen from the back. Nice work. So last one here. And then we'll release. Go ahead, let it go. Let's just pause for a second. Yeah, take a breath. Great. Let's come down to sit on your mat, and we'll sit in this position. I'm debating if I should be sideways. I'll face you. You can sit whatever direction you want. So the knees are bent, the feet on the floor. Just for a second, put the hands behind you and press down so that you can lift up. That's it. And now keep the support here through the front and take the arms into this position that we've been practicing, yeah? Arms just in front. Now at any point if you lose it, put the arms down back on the floor. But if you're still with me, just the right arm, let it go out to the side. And center. And then the left arm. And center. Then just the right arm, take it up, off, and center. Now the left arm, when it lifts up, think of lifting from the back and from below the shoulder blade instead of from the neck. Yeah. Now one more on each side. Right arm wide, left arm up at the same time. Oh yeah. Back to center, left arm wide, right arm up. Ah, gorgeous. Back to center. Oh yeah, it's a little port bras. Nice work. And then put the legs out long. Just give them a little babasana, little jiggles here. Yeah. All right, so let's take it down onto your back and we'll do a thing here, kind of a bridge prep, and whether you go up into bridge or not doesn't really matter. So you'll have the knees bent, you'll have the elbows bent, and the forearms and palms face each other. So that's our starting position. From here, friends, press the backs of the arms towards the floor, but press the shoulder blades towards your back ribs. I'll do that like a little pulse. So release the effort and then go again. Backs of the arms down, shoulder blades into the ribs. Now I find just working on this a very worthwhile endeavor. So feel free to keep doing this. If you want to add on a bridge pose, next time you're doing the pressure, stay there and root down through the feet and let the hips lift up. They don't have to lift up too high. They could, but they don't have to. And then we'll come back down, do one more time. So we'll do the arms first. Press down the arms, shoulder blades press into the ribs, root down into the feet, peel yourself up. Any amount is fine. Release. And then when you're ready to get out, let's release, untuck the shoulder blades. Let's take the feet a little bit wider on your mat, knees are bent, and just windshield wiper the legs. So one side and the other side. And you could go any speed, any pace. It might feel nice to linger on one side. It might feel better to just keep on moving. And take one more leg thing here. Let's pause in the center and reset so your feet aren't quite as wide. The right foot, you'll scoop the foot underneath so the foot goes in between the left foot and the left tush, and the right knee goes towards the floor. Most of us won't touch the floor, some of us will. If you needed to put a prop under there, if that feels better, you could. So the right leg is down, the left leg is up. Let's pick up the left leg and bring it in towards you. So even though we're holding the left leg, the right side for most of us is where we'll feel the stretch. Now just the tiniest, tiniest amount. Think of your back ribs sinking towards the floor and getting wider, and you might feel a little extra pull when you do that. Okie dokie, let's undo gently. Back to center. And just pause in the middle for a sec before we swap sides. Give your body a moment to adapt. Already, for side two, it's the left one that comes underneath. The knee goes, it's kind of on the diagonal, maybe with the prop under it. And the right, the side's tighter for me. Right side comes in, for left side, it's always the case. In a very, very gentle way, let the back ribs start to sink down and think of them as widening across the back lower ribs. And then we'll undo that, returning to center, feet on the floor. Just take another pause, another check-in. And we'll combine two movements that we've done in the class. So one of them is the windshield wiper. We're only going to do one leg at a time. And the other one is the kind of the snow angel arm. And that one too, we'll just do the one arm. So let's put the left leg long on the floor. The right knee is bent, foot on the floor. And then let me explain the leg first. So you press the foot just straight down into the floor, and as you do, the hip will lift up, and you're almost initiating a twist, but you don't go that far. And then you'll come back down. So that's the leg. And each time you do it, if you want to move the foot, that's fine. As the leg is doing its thing, let's say it's the right side, the right arm sweeps the floor and reaches up towards your head, and that'll make more movement. You'll get a bigger range, and then you'll come back to center. Yeah, so do that a few times on the right. I'll keep talking, but you just go on your own. The foot presses down, the hip peels up, the arm sweeps wide and up by your head, and you start to roll over towards the left side, but you don't go all the way. And then you'll undo. Take that a few more times. And it might feel interesting to move the head in the direction the arm, the hand is moving. So you kind of look back at it at the end. If that doesn't feel so good on the neck, just put the head however it feels best. Let's take another maybe 2 or 3 more on this side. I don't think I mentioned it. My heel is coming up. That might happen for you. Totally fine if it does. And then the next time you land, we'll just take another pause. Be in this position, or you could re-lengthen the leg. Set up for our second side, which will be the left foot on the floor, the knees bent. You'll press into the floor as the hip lifts, let the arm sweep the side. And then we come back to center and possibly move the foot if you want to try a new position. And keep going with this one. I find I could do this one. We could do a whole class of this maybe one day. Let's take just another few more. Finish it up. All right, guys. It's time to come back to center. Let's release into Shavasana. Of course, if there is anything else that you need to feel more complete, if there's any last movement or anything like that, go ahead and do what you need. I'm actually going to sit because it's easier for me to talk that way. Come into the most comfortable shape for you. And see if you can allow the work to be done. Sometimes that's easier said than done. Any holding in your face, jaw, neck, shoulders. Front of the body, soften into the back of the body. Back of the body to be full, wide. A little deeper, fuller breath. Start to bring any sort of movement back into your body, anything at all. Ready? Lying down, let the knees bend. Roll over onto one side. From there, press up. We'll meet in a seated position. Take hands to heart center. Thank your body for everything that it's able to do. And thank yourself for being here. Namaste.